Hello, hello. Hope you're doing okay today. I think my mic is coming through now. Sorry for the delay. I'm not sure what was going on there. But if you could let me know if you could hear me, we're going to go ahead and get started here. And we got, this is actually a continuation from last stream, which is, I think, 2 weeks ago, and I haven't looked at it since then. So if you're brand new to it, I'm going to refresh myself in front of you. And that way we can kind of all get up to date on what this project is and, yeah, go from there. But if you could let me know if you can hear me okay. YouTube is telling me that the stream quality is bad. Everything else seems to be saying it's okay. So it would be helpful to know from somebody who's watching because you're the one that actually matters. So far, haven't heard anything yet. It looks like my mic is working though on my end. But if I could know, that would be helpful. Orchard Beach. Oh, cool. Yeah, that's a cool area. Okay, Mohammed, welcome. Thanks. Okay, everything's working okay. Okay, perfect. All right, well, we'll get started here then. And like I mentioned, this is a bit of a continuation stream from the last time I streamed, which was like 2 weeks ago. I was streaming out or coding out a little web project for a friend. Let me switch over so you can actually see what's going on. All right, I'm doing awesome. Thank you. Thanks for asking. It's nice and early here this morning, so we'll see how my brain works. But you can see here that this was kind of our inspiration. Looks like there's been a few more posts since the last time I looked at this. But this person I saw on Blue Sky, they have like, yeah, basically little today I learned stuff. And I was like, oh, that'd be kind of cool. But I know myself, I'm never going to do that if I don't have some kind of API endpoint to hit and update this stuff with. So that's basically what this is a little API endpoint that we can hit and ensure that we get our today I learned stuff up. Now we probably want to add some kind of authentication to this as well, but that's as much as I remember of what we did. Here's the app. And I remember we had something on a README. Yeah, okay, so evidently we have a database. That's good. We have a basic layout with a nav and a footer. We have individual items. Okay, so we created a little form. Okay, cool. API stuff. So we have a post route, which takes in an action, or which uses an Astro action, handles it, handles errors. Okay, cool. So all right, so refactors, we got some more stuff to do down here. So we can do this for API routes, use CVA for link styles, DOM purify to sanitize stuff, error states in the UI, markdown for content. Okay, so we do have some stuff to do. That's good. I was hoping so. But if I come over here, what you see, we've got this first one, this something. If I start this back up, like title, some content down here. And it takes us to this. Today I learned 2. There we go. And we also have an API endpoint, if I remember correctly. Let me make sure I'm not going to... there's something I want to show off here, but I want to make sure that I actually have the right thing showing. All right, so yeah, that's right. Okay. Cool, so let me switch this back. We also created this little API endpoint, a local host, and then we can grab the underscore actions and then just the name of the action. And in this case, we're passing along a multi-part form where we've got a title and a content. So if I hit send, this says something. Oh, string must be at least 10 characters. So that's nice that we've got server-side validation, right? So we can add some more stuff here. All right, some more content. Now we hit it again and we say, yeah, we're good. So that means if I come over here, we should have now 3 things. So our API endpoint is working as expected, which is good. Okay. And then I think I also had, this was delete, maybe, params. This was just a post. So if you post to the individual item, API 3 right now, it's just deleting it. So we probably want to have some kind of update. So let's think through what we want to do today. What's going on here? There we go. Okay. Let me open up our actual add form. So we're returning this learning ID, which I think we could simplify that. But anyhow, we've got this form, which right now, if I remember right, we're just handling this server side. So we're not doing any kind of client-side JavaScript. We are. Oh, we are. Okay, so we need to actually update the input fields here, though. So if I have like a title and like a short content, it should actually highlight this in some way. So let's add that to our list of stuff to do today. So let's ignore everything else we wrote and just say like, today I fixed. All right, and we're gonna have, oh, and I am using cursor. I did this last time too on the stream. I've been using it on and off the last couple weeks, and it's useful sometimes, especially for boilerplate stuff. But we're gonna add like UI errors for form, which I think is this. So we can get rid of that. Markdown for the content. That sounds kind of fun. Here I am saying we're not gonna grab our stuff from last time, but there we go. Okay, so let's maybe start with this UI stuff. We probably also want to have like some kind of edit state, like, yeah, option here. Obviously, I'd want somebody to be logged in for this, so like auth, maybe. I don't know that I want to worry about that today. I'm probably only going to have like 40 minutes, something like that. So let's go ahead and get started then. I've got this form, these input areas. If I come in here, we're passing in that error. So the way this works is we can get these errors from the actual invocation. So if I come back over here, this is all happening. Let's see, on the add right here, right? Yeah, is input error. So we're getting errors back from the actual action. And then if we successfully go, we go to the actual route. Otherwise, we get an error back, and we're passing that into the form. The form then handles all the errors, and it might have a title or a content section here where it's going to pass this in and as the error. So what I need to do is now come inside here. We need to make sure that if there is an error, that this stuff shows. And for some reason, this is not showing, even though it should. So let's make sure that we're actually getting this in here down this way. All right, so if I come in here, this is coming as undefined. Let's go title, something short, and nothing pulls in here. Bad request. Okay, so we're handling this. That's right. So if I get rid of this, this should work. Sorry, I'm familiarizing myself, but hopefully that means if you're coming new, you're not any more lost than I am. We got title, something here, and now this will say that. Okay, cool. So I just need to handle this now using JavaScript as well. So what we're going to do is use our little IDs we've got here, right? Because these should have IDs, which they don't currently. I guess we could also use the names, but these have IDs, right? Like name, error, whatever. So we should be able to handle that as well. So let's add an additional thing here. We could use this, or if it has an error, it's gonna have an ID on it as well. So maybe we should do that. So I'll come in here and say, no, let's not do that one. So we're gonna say border, yeah. So classless here, we can take in an array, and we're gonna say that if aria, can I do it like this? Actually, I should be able to just do this directly in CSS, right? So let's try that. So we're going to say if aria described by, let's see if it'll know what's going on. See, this is going to do it automatically because this just says it's there. I need this to actually have a value. So maybe like this. Let's ask cursor. How do I show a class just if aria described by has a value? I don't remember what the, no, that's not right. Let's see. Yeah, it needs to have an ID, not null, which is what it's going to have, or undefined. See, this is going to show it no matter what, right? And I don't have anything in there. come back here, something here, right? No? So this should have an error at this point. So I don't know what's going on there, but let's just go ahead and back out of this and say if this has data. I'll just add this all in JavaScript. Let's do that. So I'm going to grab this name equals whatever, because this should be unique, and so should this right here. So we'll add both of these right here. See, this isn't going to work because I'm only showing this on server rendering. So I might need to rethink this. So this will be my server rendered one. Maybe we could just have this. Let's back out of this. So this should be there no matter what. So what we can do is come in here and say that if there's an error, then we'll have block. Otherwise, I'll just have hidden. I think that'll work. All right. All right, so we've got this here, so it shouldn't show. However, I should be able to just toggle this on and off with JavaScript, right? So if I come in here, you should have, which one am I on? My input up here? Yeah, this right here should be accessible still. So I've got ID title error right here. So I should be able to access this, right? Document.query selector. And we're going to select the, I can't even see my own area. What's that title error? Title error? Yeah, so it still should show there. Okay, that'll work. All right, that way it's only visible server side. And then I can toggle it on and off. I think that'll work. Okay, cool. So what I need to do now is come over here, and when I get an error, I can console log it, that's fine. But I also want to come in here and grab the individual items. So you see we've got these fields, and they give me the name of the thing that has the problem and an array of error messages, which I'll just pick off the very first one. So let's do that. So I'm going to come in here and take my error dot fields. I don't really like for each. So let's just say like, for const object errors, that's fine. Input, I want to add that. Name equals key, that's fine. And then I also want to grab, yeah, let's just grab this here. Close. All right, like that. Oops. No, yeah, that's right. And we'll get rid of this and where'd I get lost here? I don't need any of this. I don't want this, and I don't want this. All right, so we're just going to select it directly, and assuming it's there, so document.query selector, we're going to select the input that has the name of whatever the key happens to be, and add the class list of that to it. Get out of here. I think that'll work. Now, honestly, I'd probably use React for this because it's way easier to have these kind of interactive states. So that might be another refactor I want to do at some point. But yeah, all right. So we've done that first. Then I want to document .query selector. Let's just remove this, and then we'll get both of those. In this case, what I want is the ID of, what was that? Error fields, error, whatever the thing happens to be. Like this. I think that's right. Error key. Yep. And then we're going to class list.remove. I don't know what this music is. All right. Let's do display hidden. We're going to remove that. And actually, I need to add as well. So I guess let's go ahead and grab this as a separate declaration. Error element. That's fine. That's fine. And then I also want to add error element. The text content, I do want the value to go there. HTML element, that should still work. Text content should be the value 0. Let's see. Let's come inside here. I don't know why this doesn't know what this is. Error.fields. Errors.fields. Yeah, this should go. This should return back. So I'll have to fix it later. But yeah, this should be value as a string. Okay, let's just see what happens. All right, if I say title something here, it's too short. Okay, it does show that. That's good. However, I don't think I ever fixed this here for the text area. So let's come up top here, do the same thing here. So see if cursor will figure out what we're trying to do. No, okay, that's fine. I think it should be the exact same. Yeah. All right, so title, something. Yeah, string must be at least 10 characters. Now, when I come back and I select this again, I'd want it, as soon as I start to type, to remove. So again, this is where something like React would be a little bit easier to work with. But now I'm actually getting this properly coming through, and the exact message is coming as well. So if I have something like this, what else do I have on my action? Minimum length of 1. Okay, let's make this 2. Just to make sure they're both working. Okay, so it is actually pulling the individual messages there. Now when I go back and I focus on that again, that's when I'd want it to actually, yeah, that's when I want it to toggle back off the UI. Let's fix these type errors though. Let's get a little bit bigger. So I think the problem is that this can be 2 types of errors, which I just actually did a video on this week. One is just a general error, and the other one be like an input error. So why don't we go ahead and just double check, like is input error, like that. Yeah, that should work, and that should work, I think. Yeah, so now it actually knows the type of error it is. So if it is this type of input error, then it knows what these fields are, because it should be like this, and it also knows this is a string, which means I don't have to do a type assertion anyhow. Okay, so that fixes that. Okay, so we at least have the starting point going, right? So here we're going to say like show errors. Now we want to like hide errors on blur. All right, so let's go ahead and come over here. Show errors client side JavaScript. Okay, perfect. All right, back over here. So now let's go ahead and hide the errors on blur. So if I come back over to my form, let's go ahead and hide these errors once somebody starts typing. So probably the easiest thing to do is, since I've already got the form, I could just say that when something is focused in here, not that I'd have to loop through all the inputs. Man, this is where I should probably have just used React, because it makes it a lot easier at this point, but that's okay. I guess I'll just loop through all the keys of the form data, right? And attach event listeners. I already have an event listener on the submit here. I guess let's do that. Let's say form. Let's just do it on the individual items, maybe. Maybe that's a better route to go. So I've got these inputs. Basically, all I'm saying is every time an input is focused, I want this stuff to be gone. Or once I start typing, I don't know. Kind of kick myself for not using React now. Let's say these individual ones. Input blur, slugified label is not something it's going to be able to find here. Let's just grab its name should be the same. Yeah, so let's do this. Let's grab all inputs. Because even though this is running on a single, like it looks like a single instance, it's every time this is used anywhere. So we'll call this inputs. That's fine. And then for each of these, add event listener blur. We're going to remove that. Input.name-error. No, that's not right. All right, so the next thing I want to do then is look up document.querySelector input.name. Yeah, that's right. Maybe that's what it was doing and I just didn't see. Remove that, and I want to do that. Error element dot class list, and we want to remove block. I think that should work. So if I come over here, it errors out. If I focus back in here on blur, yeah, that's what I'd want. So not on focus, but on blur, which is what I said, just not what I was typing or what I was typing, not what I was saying. So something short here, come over here, 2 characters. So if I come in here, it doesn't remove any of the styling yet, but if I do a longer title, then it removes it. I could also actively check, I suppose, as well, but then I have to check against like my backend function, and that gets kind of complex. Again, something like React would make that a little bit easier. So let's actually grab this, and I'm just going to do this on the form. Nah, I should do it here. All right, let's come over to the text area, and we'll do the same thing here. Text area, areas. We'll take text area. Okay, I guess I should try to let this thing do it. Text area. Yeah, okay. I think that should work. So let's come in here with something short, something else short. Title here. Oh, and I already unfocused that. Okay, so if I come in here, all right, so I've seen better experiences, but it's something. All right, let's also come back to my README. We're going to say that both of those are done. I think if I move this to production, I'll probably change that to React, but I don't want to do that now. Probably should also like show toast as well. I don't know. Probably not for an error message. Or am I using TypeScript? Yep. Hey, welcome, Arthur. All right, so let's make sure we sanitize the inputs next. So I'm going to hide errors on blur. Okay, let's do that. So let's come to probably, I guess what we should do is do it both on the front side and the back side. So we'll come back to the forum, and we've got all this content here, this form data. That's DOM only though, for server. Which is the one I use for that? I don't remember. It's like HTML sanitize. Something like that. Sanitize HTML. I think maybe. I think this is the one I will often use. All right, so let's do this. Let's close this down. Add that. Might as well add some types because I don't think, yeah, there's type declarations, but you have to actually install them. It's fine. Let's do that. Hey, welcome from Belgium. Yeah, the benefits of TypeScript, I mean, a lot of it depends on the size of your project. So for a lot of small projects, it's probably not worth it, but like a lot of stuff today might seem useless, but I think once you get larger projects and you start interacting with lots of code from lots of different places, it's helpful to have that kind of type safety. And there's lots of little edge cases that you wouldn't think of that TypeScript basically makes you handle. So there's the kind of the safety side of it. I think probably the reason I like it most, not that I'm like super crazy into TypeScript, but is just the like autocomplete and niceness of using it somewhere. So for instance, like I know exactly what I need here because I've typed it. So I've got label and error, and these I should actually make required, or at least the label I should. So if I come over here, you'll notice that if I get rid of this, it should yell at me now because it says, hey, you need this. And if I start to type, you'll see the very first thing it gives me is label, and this is something I have to have. So that's, I think, probably the thing that's most useful for me. And if I come inside here, you'll notice that I've typed this as an input type, which means I can only put stuff on here that works. So I could put like checked, because this one actually works, right? So I can use a checked attribute. If I type this instead as something else, so if I come over here and I type this as like an H1, which I'll error out for other reasons, but if I come over here, where am I at? Right here. You'll notice I can't do checked. It only lets me do aria checked because checked isn't an option on an H1. So for me, like those basic uses for TypeScript are super helpful. I think if you get too much further into that, a lot of times it can be kind of confusing and not super useful, but it's probably just a skill issue, honestly, for me. So, okay, so we're going to shut this stuff down. Actually, let me pull this up because I don't totally remember. Just sanitize HTML. Okay, so we can do this. So I'm going to come over here to my input, now my action, and let's pull this in up top. And I want to make sure that with each of these items, I sanitize them before I put them into my database. So sanitize that, we can sanitize that, and we're good to go. Okay, cool. I mean, hopefully I'm the only one hitting this endpoint, but we also don't have any kind of protection here yet either, so I probably should make sure to add that in. So we should do that like, oh, wait. Here we go, check. Protect post route or something. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think I wouldn't worry about using everything in TypeScript. Honestly, if you're writing in Astra, which you don't have to, but that's what I'm doing, like just typing stuff up top here is probably worth it. Like that alone would be helpful. And there's a config option here for TS config. I have it on strict, but you could just set this to base, and then it won't like yell at you all the time, but you still get the benefits. So anyhow, maybe do that, but it's up to you. And like, there's definitely some stuff like here, we're using TypeScript. Well, we're using Zod, but we can like pick off these individual items and it knows what we have, you know? So it's just, I think it's mostly, I like the DX, and you kind of get the benefit of probably covering more edge cases than you would think of otherwise. So yeah, sure, we can add some type submit, that's fine. Okay, so we did that. What were we doing? Yeah, HTML sanitization. All right, that'll work. Should we do some kind of markdown for the content? Markdown to, or I store as markdown to HTML. Yeah. Markdown. I don't remember what I've used for this before, to HTML. Showdown. Written in JavaScript. Nice. 3 years ago, a year ago. I'm trying to remember what I've used before. Let's see what this does. This is, I'm guessing, a plugin. Yeah, for a remark. Sanitize false is dangerous. Okay, so it sanitizes it on this end too. It includes its types. Okay, that's fine. So I'm guessing I have to install Remark as well. I don't know. Let's see. So ultimately, I want to store this stuff as HTML. I could also like embed a markdown, like TipTap or something. That'd be kind of cool. Or Slate. I don't know. I'm not sure I want to touch Slate. Yeah. So I guess, do I have to like install Remark as well since it's a plugin? I have no idea what this music is. Sorry if it's annoying. I can't really hear it. I can just hear it a little bit. So turn Markdown into HTML. Remark rehype. I thought that's literally what we were doing. Use Remark format. I don't know. Okay. So let's come back this way. Remark parse. Is this something I also have to install? Process. To support rehype. It's been a while since I've used Remark plugin, so I'm not really sure what to do. Let's just see what happens. npm run dev. We're going to steal this basic idea. Unified. I have no idea what this even means. Is this some kind of like node package? Use Remark HTML. I don't know. Let's see. Because ultimately where I want this to be is in the individual routes, right? So right here, this data content is what yeah, so let's just see what happens. All right, so this data content, I would then, I guess, just wrap in like Remark. Data content to string. Oh, so I have to actually have Remark in here maybe? Remark HTML. Let's just try that. This context of void is not available. Processor undefined. I don't know what that means. All right, let's go over here and see what happens if I come inside here. Cannot set property of setting compiler. Okay, so I'm guessing I don't understand how this Remark thing works. Remark parse. File string to file. Process. Well, clearly I'm messing something up that I don't understand. So let's just come over here, see how much easier this one is. I mean, it looks a little more old school. I don't know. What would you use for this? I know I've done this kind of stuff before, but I don't remember what I used or kind of what's standard. Let's just see what this does. I don't want to use gulp. Markdown. A sensible markdown parser. That sounds so sensible. Require markdown.to.html. Text. MD parse. It's published 12 years ago, but you know. All right, clearly I don't know what I'm doing, so I'll figure that out later. All right, so let's come back over here. Let's back out of that. And npm run dev. And let's do something else since clearly I don't understand what I'm doing. So we'll save this for later. All right, we should probably create some edit options. That's probably a good thing for this app. So let's come back over here. And ideally what we'd want is to come inside here and then have like an edit button. So let's go ahead and add that first. Do I have a link component? I do. Cool. All right, so let's put this side by side. What do I have over here? Okay, so I'm using Tailwind? Yeah, okay. So let's say like flex, justify between items center with full, which I think should be default anyhow, but let's see first. All right, then we're gonna have a link. Nope, a link here. I guess we could have both. Let's have a backlink, because this should be up top probably. And then here, I will have a link to wherever we're at, /edit. So it'd be like, today I learned edit, whatever. And here we'd say edit. All right, and then I need to pull this in. So let's grab the link. So if I click here, wait, what did I mess up? Yeah. Oh, I just don't have anything set up for that right now. That was the problem. This will take me back. Something here, and this should let me edit it. That looks way better. Let's just create the option inside this link component. So we'll do like show or like button styled or something. And if this is true, so button is true, then I'm going to replace all this stuff. So let's do that. So we're going to say class list button kind of. We'll do this here, and then I'm going to replace all this with my button classes just so that it looks the same. All right. The music's awesome. I can't even hear it, so hopefully enjoy it. Button. Sure. All right. So this one now is a button. If I click edit, it is a link, but it's styled to look like a button. So, okay, cool. So we created the UI. Let's actually create the edit option. So I'm inside here. We should probably have like a nested thing, right? That's right. Yeah. So we have an ID here. If it also has params, right? So let's just grab this right here. What does this give me? API TLI's edit. TLI's edit. Yeah, one and edit. Okay, cool. So it did give me the second one. So ultimately what I want is if I come inside here, this should fetches this. Okay, so I want to figure out basically if it has, the ID should have two options on it, right? Console.log ID.length. Well, why not? So if I come inside here, this should have one, which means it has two things in it, right? Because it's an array. So we're going to pick off the ID and the path, basically, the edit, if it has an edit. Yeah, basically. All right, so first of all, I probably need to return if there is no ID. If there is no ID, why would I be here? But if I come like here, yeah, it just returns automatically. Okay. But then I should be able to pick this off here. It could be like number or whatever. pass this in here. And then if it has edit, we're going to show true. All right, so right now, if I refresh, it shouldn't show anything. If it has edit, it still shows nothing. Okay. So I should be able to pick off the first item and the second item from this. I'm going to split it. All right, let's come down here. Let's just console.log the ID. Go inside here. ID is just 1. If I come over here, it should be ID equals edit. Why is it doing that? Because I also want to pick off the full path. Oh, maybe I do need to come down here. Let's see what happens now. Come in here, click on this, click on that. It doesn't like anything. API TLIs edit. Yeah, so okay, so now it has one edit. Okay, so that is what I needed to do. I wasn't going to the right place. So let's come back up top here. We'll change that back in a second, but I want to split that off. Then I want to come in here. Oh, now you're not going to help me out? No. All right. So this should take me to edit right here. Yeah. Okay, cool. This takes me back. This takes me to edit. There's probably a more graceful way to do that. Like, I almost think I just need to have let me try to back out of this. Let's take this here. Just get rid of that. Let's do ID. And then let's also do like, can I do this? I think I can. ID dash edit. I think I can. And then I'll just put it in a folder like that. And this can just be, if I put it inside here, then we'll just make this an index. Well, no, I need that, never mind, because I need the actual ID from it. Okay, so that means I could back out all this. And this would be ID, that would be ID. The edit here, let's just say it doesn't have this, just to distinguish it, and it doesn't have the content for some reason. Okay, so if I'm here, that should work. If I come into edit, it shows that. Okay, cool. So maybe I'll do that just to like clarify the routes to make it a little simpler to handle. Yeah, all right, so here I'm fetching the actual item. Now what I want to do is pre-populate this form right here. Now here's where probably it makes sense to, I could basically drop this exact form in. Kind of feel like I could just drop this form in. Now, handling this server-side rendering might be a little tricky just because I've got it set up to like refresh to the same route, which I guess is what's going to happen either way. Sorry, I'm just talking this out. I don't know how enjoyable these kinds of streams are when I just like am literally doing stuff, and if you feel like watching, go for it. If you don't, that's fine. But hopefully I can at least like work alongside you if you're working today or something. So yeah, I think what I want to do then is could I do like pulse, animate pulse? I mean, I guess I could, but I don't know that that's great. Okay, let's come inside here. let's just drop this thing in here like this for now. Today add form. We're going to grab all this. Right here. I think that works. Let's come back into the edit. Add all that here. Okay, so the last thing I want to do is probably pass in items into this form. So let's refactor the form where I can take in a title and content. We'll make these optional as props, errors. Let's just call it data actually, and we'll do title and content. And we'll make this optional. We'll take in the data. But once I have data, these are both going to be required. So what I can do is now take this in and say like value, or yeah, value, that should work. And say value string. If there is a value, I'm going to set the value here. Same thing with, let's see, data to title. That's fine. That means I also need to come inside here. Can you do it? Can we do it? We did it? Maybe? Okay, so now all I'm doing is basically adding the value from eventually this edit point right here, right? So when I pass this in, I want to actually pass in the data that I'm getting back. And in this case, that would be from this, right? Let's see what happens. So I've got learning, content. What happens if I come here? Something here. Okay, so we're almost there. Let's console log this data. What am I getting when I come inside here? Right here. Edit undefined. Awesome. So I'm fetching this data. I'm getting this thing all confused. Okay. So I should be able to get the edit and also the edit. I don't think I really need the edit though for anything. So I don't need this anymore. I'm just going to grab the actual ID here. Console log that data. Let's organize these imports. Organize imports, please. Why is this content not showing? The data I'm getting back, ID, title, content, something here. I think it's because text area. Is this how you do this? Let's see. I guess let's ask this. Cursor. How do I add default value to a text area? Because clearly I don't remember that. Well, that isn't working. So maybe let's console like this, something here. So it is getting a value. Do I just put it here? Is that what I do? Value? Okay. I guess that's what I do. So I'll say like, if there is a value, then show the value, otherwise an empty string. Can I do this without all the spaces? Okay, so I do get this. If I add it, it changes it. I come back here, but it added a new one. All right, so we're getting so close. All right, so what I want to do is now come over to the action, right? And I want to like upsert into here. Upsert, can I do that? Let's just use it. Drizzle, upsert. basically if it doesn't exist, then I want to add it. And I'm using SQ. Okay, let's see. Upsert query. Values. Aha. This is what we want. We're going to steal this. We're getting so close. All right, so let me drop this in here. And, oops. See if it'll change this. Nope. So values. And then on conflict. Do update. Target is the learning ID. Okay, so that should work, I think, yeah. So we're inserting the values. If there's a conflict, we're then going to basically just update them, right, to set them. Let me just double check with what I pasted earlier. On set, and then I set the individual thing. So yeah, I'd set both of those. Let's see. All right, so if we come over here, remove stuff like this. Oops. Still have my validation. Oh, I added a third one. So I need to get target ID is learning ID. Do I first check to see if it exists? There's got to be an easier way to do that. On conflicts. Oh, I have to actually pass in the ID. So let's get the ID. String to optional. Pull in the ID here. The ID here. I think this is a biome thing. We're undefined. Now let's try. But what I need to do is to make sure that on these edits. I'm sure this is so hard to follow. I'm so sorry. But now I'm just playing and stuff. So hopefully it's it's halfway helpful to someone. If not, I'm having a great time here. All right, so we're gonna come over here. Let's say that we optionally pass in an ID to the form, right? Because the form can handle that. That's what we're gonna do. Christian, comrade, hey. Welcome. Cursor, yep. Yeah, I've been using this theme for a little bit. I don't know. Probably a sign of immaturity, but I change themes all the time, so. Yeah, okay, so let's come in here. In addition to the data here, this could have an ID possibly. Yeah, if it has an ID, then I'm going to add data.id type hidden. That's fine. That's exactly what I want. And I want this ID, which I'm going to have to parse as a string later or whatever, but can I do like type number? I don't know if that'll do that or not. So basically, if I'm on the, let's see, data, I'm passing that in. If I'm in the edit section here, then I'm going to pass this data in. So let's do this. I need to, yeah, data and the number is parsed. Perfect. That's exactly what I want. Okay, so now we're going to come over here. We're going to edit this, something here. I think we did it. Let's kill this and restart. So we'll go back to our single one that's in our seed data. If I edit this and say something else, go back to the home. We did it. All right, so let me walk through that to make sure that's clear what we did. Also, I guess we don't really need this. I do probably want like some kind of heading here. So let's do that first, actually. So let's say heading, level 1, size 1, say editing, today I learn. All right. I guess we could say like what the number is. Wasn't there a, or the ID is? Editing TLI 1. All right, so learning something. Obviously, we probably want to protect this somehow, but yeah. Cool. All right, so we got this home route. We're adding this. I passed in the ID optionally here. Whereas when we go here, it doesn't obviously have an ID. So here, if I go like title something else, then this action over here, it's going to see that there is no ID here. So there will be no conflict. So it'll just basically skip this and just return the ID, which is what I want. So if I do this, it should take me to that. If I come back home, now I have two things. However, if I come inside here, now I'm on the edit form. Well, I'm right here. So I fetched all the data and I'm displaying the data down here, but I also have an edit button, which takes me to this /edit like that, which I don't know why I'm doing this. This should just be that, right? Yeah. All right. So now if I click inside here, no, or no, just this. I don't know. Maybe it's the way I'm passing it in down there. I don't know. Like inside the component. Now I'm confused. Anyhow, I don't know. Either way, I come into this edit, and now the edit page, which is right here, is going to get the ID. That's part of the param. That's this right here. And I guess I don't even need this to be edit in brackets, right? It's not doing anything. Yeah, so it gets the ID, assuming that there is an ID. I'm not sure where those things are yelling at me. Then it passes this in, right? Otherwise, if there's no ID, it's going to just jump out of here anyhow. So I know I've got an ID at this point, 1, 2, whatever the item in the database is. And I pass that along to the form that then inputs this as one of the name values. So when the form gets submitted, that gets submitted along with the form, which means the action over here grabs that item, all right? And it sees that it's in there because that's the name I gave the input, and then passes that on and upserts instead of inserts. So US on description. Yeah. Yep. I'm from like Western United States, Utah. So now if I edit something that already exists, yeah, that works. Okay. So let's come back to my README edit option. We did not do anything with auth. I like how like during these streams, I slowly wake up because it's like 5:20 when I start usually, but anyhow, add edit option, git push, protect the post route. I probably should, at some point I want to style this so it doesn't look like total crap, but use markdown, we messed that up. Validation. I guess we could also like protect this in some way. What's this music? I picked like a chill playlist. Evidently my definition of chill, I just want it to be like quiet instrumental and stay out of my way, but so sorry if it's a lot. I probably should be done because I got to get to work, but there's other stuff to do here. We could move to this for API routes. That's true. We don't really have, we basically created a patch route. Yeah, it's a post route, but it's fine. It's doing the same thing. I guess I could create an actual patch route too so that I could hit it from like an API endpoint. Okay, I'll do that real fast. Okay, so let's come inside here. Otherwise, grab all. What am I doing here? Getting one item. This is just literally just totally useless. Then throw error. If a param, what's going on here? So how am I getting this in the home route? All right, now I got to figure this out. API TILs. What? Oh, that was the thing about like making it a nested thing. Yeah, I guess. Let's just ignore that. So this obviously, whatever. We'll just leave that alone. All right, I just want to come inside here. We're going to update the one thing and call it a day. So here I'm going to have a patch. Going to finish up here real soon. We're going to update that. We also need to grab the request. And I want to grab the title and the content off that. If there is no title and content, then let's return. Perfect. I don't have to have, well, no, I should have both, I guess. If there's no title or no content. And then we're going to change this around. Can you help me out, cursor? So I don't have to type this. All right. Is there a way to say, I guess I'd want like, if there's title, show title. Otherwise do undefined, same thing there. So I don't pass that in. Or is that going to remove it? I don't know. What if I just come over here? Title or content. If there's no title and there's no content, then there's there. Okay, then let's just say like only update the title or the content. They don't have to pass both in. Because like we could just create it like a little object that contains one and or the other. That works. What's this music? A long way to East Europe where I am. Well, welcome. Thanks for joining. One of these days, I'd love to get over that way. TLI updated, I guess. All right, let's see what happens. I should have title content. So let me come back to here. Yeah, we're going to hit this. Can I duplicate this? Yep. All right, we're going to make this have a body. I guess this is just JSON, right? We could just have title as like new title. Do I have at least 3? No, I don't. So let's go something like that. Where do I like pick the type? Oh, here it is. Patch. Let's try it. Oh, awesome. Oh, that's not how you do JSON. Let's try again. Something happened. New title. Look at that. We got a patch endpoint. Okay. All right. That's all. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoy that. Yeah, you do get a certificate after completing the course. I just updated an entire module yesterday too. Got 2 more on the books, hopefully in the next 2 or 3 weeks. That might be a little aggressive, but I've got a lot I want to add on top of that, but I just keep going back and reshooting all the modules to make them hopefully better. And I want to add some more too. So anyhow, thanks so much for following along. I will catch you in the next one. Happy coding.